Welcome, my darling pretties, to our Beyond the Dawn of Business podcast for pretty, empowered female entrepreneurs. It's time to step into your power, pretties. Lift each other, support the squad, and choose a life filled with the autonomy and freedom to live your dreams. I'm your host, Dawn Beth, owner and founder of Beyond the Dawn digital business brand and agency. My coffee is hot and my eyelashes are on, so we are ready to go. Hi guys, welcome to today's Audience Attraction Alumni interviews. Today we have got the gorgeous Laura Edwards with us, who is a previous Audience Attraction member, which is pretty obvious really because it's an alumni interview, but let me just state the obvious. Why not? I'm going to do that really annoying thing where I check that we're live and we're working in the group. Oh yes, I can see us. There we are. Wonderful. And there's my horrible voice. Let's turn that down. So I can already hear my children downstairs going mental because I've left them alone. So we can have this little interview. I can already hear them downstairs going crazy. Hopefully you can't hear that.
Like, let them have a mad half hour. It's not gonna. As long as you don't burn the place down, it'd be fine.
It's madness. I saw a meme the other day, and it was I love Schitt's Creek. I don't know if you've seen that program, but I absolutely love Schitt's Creek. And O'Hara, she's so hilarious as a comedy actress, and she has this accent on the program, and everything is bebe, and she's like very theatrical. And there's just this meme of her like looking really startled, and it says to your children when they're wrecking the house and you're busy, and it's just her in like her voice, like, do what you must. Do what you must. And that's kind of where I'm at in homeschooling and working and all of the things. I'm just at a point where I look at the living room and there are 1,000 sea creatures because Jack is just adoring all things animal at the moment, and he's like a tiny David Attenborough, and I just have to look at it and be like, meh, they go back to school next week, things will change again. And what are you gonna do?
And again, because I think the motto or the theme of the past couple of years is life changes super quick.
Yeah,
like we get used to one thing and it changes, and we get used to another thing and it changes. So I mean, right now they're running amok, and like in half an hour's time they'll be napping, whatever.
Hopefully. I mean, that would be wonderful. Anyway, enough about me whinging about my gorgeous babies. How are you, my darling?
I am good. I'm very good. I am caffeinated, so I'm better.
Yay for caffeination. If anyone's watching, do let us know that you're watching. We will put your comments up on the screen. It's an interactive session. You can ask us any questions. You can get involved. We have got a couple of people watching, but I don't know who those gorgeous pretties are. Hopefully you guys will let me know who you are.
Please let us know who you are.
Yes, get involved. Get on in here. I've been doing that all week with Audience Attraction. Come on down. Get on in here.
Take up your seat, ladies. Take up your seat.
That's it, right? There's a seat at the table. There's the name is there for you. Your name is there. Now it's time to claim it. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. That's so true. So
it's a full-on J.R. Tolkien thing. Like, if you want him, come and claim him.
Come and claim him. That's so true. But I mean, I love that because I do say all the time that it's magic. It's marketing magic, and a bit of Tolkien, a bit of magic. I don't mind that at all. That's my jam. I'll take that. Yeah. Bit of Labyrinth, bit of David Bowie with his balls.
Well, yeah.
Bless his soul. I don't know if I'll yeah. So tell everybody who's watching, and everybody who might be watching on replay, I should say that, give us a hashtag replay, my darlings, because people are watching this later on in the day. Tell everybody who you are and a little bit about what you do, darling.
not good at this bit. We know I'm not. But hi, I'm Laura, and I am a full-time artist, award-winning artist, I can say now.
Yes!
I actually won one in 2019 too, so I guess that means I'm multi-award winning now.
You are multi-award winning.
Now, yeah. I paint and sculpt and design and illustrate and animate and all those things. If it's creative, I do it. And if it's creative and I don't know about it, you can guarantee, like, I'm going to fall down that rabbit hole later and go.
Yeah, just because she's not doing it yet doesn't mean she won't be doing it. At some point, it's going to happen.
I hit on this last week in the challenge that what it is about me is like I'm a curious person. Like I have curiosity and a lot of wonder. So if there's something and it shines at me, I'm going down that rabbit hole. I am Alice.
Me too.
With pink hair. And if it's shining at me, I want to investigate it and I want to go on that adventure. And then I might decide, I'm not really into this. But I will never say, oh, I wish I'd gone and done that thing.
I am so similar in that way, and that is sometimes it's been like an area of my genius, and it probably has been for you as well, that I'm the type of person that will look at something and consider it an opportunity or an adventure, and therefore I will go for it rather than that kind of more, what's the right word, like cautious sit back.
I'm more like an all-in person. I'm a dive-in person. So, which is, I mean, how I decided to do audience attraction. Like, if you think about where we were, like, we didn't know each other that well.
No, we didn't. We didn't know each other hardly at all. I think we'd exchanged a few messages, if you don't mind me saying. You weren't very well, and I think I'd wished you well. I think that's literally it. And then you sent me a message. You were like, "Oh, by the way, I'm in."
Yeah, you built my your agency had built my P4P freebie.
Yeah,
and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm in with this girl. She's amazing. And then you brought out Audience Attraction. It was right at this point where I hadn't been very well, but I was, hi Emma. Like working on my business and knowing that I really had to like go for it 100%.
Yeah.
I was like, right, this person had we're magnetically attracted, you and I, like we get each other. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
And then I messaged you and I was like, oh, by the way, I've just paid, like I'm in.
Yeah, you sent me a message. You were like, by the way, I've done it. I'll be there. I'm on it. And I was really shocked because it was a situation whereby, we love you too, MZ Bobs. It was a situation whereby at that point I was having lots of chats with people, much like I am now, and I was answering questions, and I had a really good handle, I thought, on the people who I could help. And I knew who needed me, and I knew who I could get there. And I was chatting to all these people, and I knew obviously that you were in an area of that space, but because you were poorly, I wasn't sure whether you'd have the headspace for it. And I certainly, you know me, I'm not a hard pusher. You just like saw the opportunity, understood the value in it, and leapt. And I loved that. It was really inspirational to me, because obviously I train all the time and I join myself onto courses all the time, and I'm just leveling up all the time. You know more than most how often I'm doing that, because you've been involved behind the scenes in the agency and stuff now. But I don't really hesitate. If I need that thing, if it's missing, I just go and I get it. And I know that may sound like an easy thing, like, oh, now she's successful and she has a business, she can just go and get that thing. But it wasn't always that way.
Last year I had zero monies. Like I had nothing. My relationship had just broken up. Like it had just become very clear we weren't getting back together. My entire life had imploded, and I was ill.
Yeah.
And I knew that if I didn't sort out what it was about social that I didn't have sorted, I wasn't going to make it. So I leapt in.
You leapt in?
Without a net.
Without a net. Well, I'm your net.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean, though. Like, because
you didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you were the net. I just knew that, like, this was the thing.
Yeah.
That I knew I needed, because, like, Social and I have a very love-hate relationship in which I mostly hate Social. Yeah. I do. I mean, it's not my favorite thing. It's not my zone of genius, and I find it most of the time, like, honestly, a bit of a chore.
Yeah.
So, and like, that was a massive block for me, and I was like, right, so I've got to find a way to make this more fun. And audience attraction and content creation on top was just like, okay, I can make it fun, so it doesn't have to be a slog. It doesn't have to be awful. And that was all my mindset, right? But I had firmly set this mindset that Social was awful and that I had to do it, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, and I think as well, like, social media treats you as it finds you. So, like, you understand now, you understand how it works, you understand the methodology. Emma says she still really hates it, look. You understand the methodology, you understand behind the scenes. So now you can go to Social, knowing what Social wants from you. You can give it what it wants, and then you can see the results of how that works. Yeah. But when we don't know all of that stuff, when we haven't got that education into how it all works and how to actually lean into what works, then we just keep, like, putting this stuff out and we get no love back, and that's when we start to hate Social, because it feels like you're just banging your head against a brick wall all of the time. And that situation always is something that people come to me when they get to that place, and it's like, I am posting every single day, I am on Canva, I'm making graphics, I'm talking about my offers, I'm talking about me as a person. Why isn't it working? Every general piece of advice that's out there, every Google expert that's out there tells me that I just need to show up. And what does show up even mean?
Exactly. Like, I actually said that to you at one point, and I was like, what does that even mean?
What does it even mean?
Like, I say this as well when people tell me to let things go. I'm like, I'm not Elsa. Like, what does that even mean? Like, how do I let it go? Don't tell me to do it. Tell me how to do it. Yeah. Like, that was like what I was really struggling with. Yeah. I have the information now. I can choose to take or leave whichever socials I want. Like, no matter what I do or how I do it, me and Facebook, we're not going to be besties. So I decided to leave it. Yeah. Like, everything that goes on my Facebook page goes there as an automatic thing when it goes to my Instagram. I don't go there and I don't do it. If people respond to me there, I respond. Yeah. But I don't want to bother with it, so I don't bother with it anymore.
No, you use Facebook for your safe houses, don't you?
Yeah. Like, I use Facebook like backup, and mostly also for, like, courses and that kind of thing, and to keep up with my people who are abroad and let it go. I'm not going to sing. I'm not going to sing. But yeah.
I thought you were for a second then. No.
No one needs to hear me sing on camera. Like, that's not a thing that needs to happen. Especially not when it's being recorded. That's not a thing that needs to happen any day. Now I know the ins and outs. I can work out what's going to serve me best. Yeah. And also, if you show up to Facebook and you don't want to be there, it shows. Yeah. And it shows in me that I really just don't want to. Yeah. So I just don't. Yeah. And the world hasn't imploded.
No, but the thing is, you didn't understand how it all worked and you didn't have direction. You would be too scared to make that educated decision for yourself, right?
Yeah, like, now it's very much an educated decision. Like, I've gone through and I know now, like, I know how it works. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know how I'm supposed to show up. Yeah. I'm past my blocks about being on camera, obviously. obviously. And yet I'm just still not into it. Yeah. Like Facebook and I just wouldn't date. And like, we just wouldn't. Facebook's not my kind of man. Like,
what's really funny for me is that when we go through kind of like all of the different structures, all of the different players in terms of platforms and stuff, is that most people do find one true area that they're really connected with, and then they stick to that. And for some people that's Facebook, and for some people that's Instagram, and we've even had people on Audience Attraction where they've leaned into LinkedIn. LinkedIn has been their place. I'm not going to mention names, but I think we both know who we're talking about here. She absolutely adores LinkedIn and she rocks it over there. And it doesn't matter which area you're leaning into, which bit works for you in your business. The whole idea about this is that you have a wealth of understanding so that you don't have to rely on something that doesn't work for you. You can turn all of this direction that you have to build your audience. Yeah, and what people don't think as well is they think when we talk about, we some people don't like Facebook, we think that maybe then, Facebook groups aren't working. But actually, people have their main output in Instagram and still bring people to Facebook to a group and fill their group from Instagram or fill their group from LinkedIn. And that's always a massive like mic drop moment when people realize that that's possible.
Yeah, you can cycle people through. Like you can bring them on, like you get them on the train. And once they're on the train, like they're very much gonna be in your places. Once you've got the right person, like, and that's the your ideal client and you the correct audience. Once you've got them, they're gonna show up in your places because they're not gonna want to miss out. Like there's a lot of FOMO.
Yeah, FOMO's real. FOMO's real.
Like I have FOMO right now. Like I'm trying to work out how I can join Audience Attraction. Just
don't tease me. That's not fair.
Like I don't want to miss it. Like, but then I'm trying to find a way, Donnie.
Don't tease me. It's funny. I won't mention the name, but somebody else did this to me yesterday, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I think I'm interested." And I was like, "Oh yeah, it'd be wonderful for you, and it would be so good to have you on it." And then she sent me a message, and she was like, "Stop teasing me," and I was like, "Stop teasing me! I want you on it because it would just be so wonderful." I can't.
The changes in social, like between last March, the changes in me since last March. But anyway, it's not about me. But like the changes in social since last March to now, and I've had the benefit of being on Pro Members, and I've had the benefit of doing like done with you stuff, and I get those trainings. Yeah. But honestly, I feel like Audience Attraction this time round is almost like a new beast.
It's a new beast.
It's like a whole new beast that I just don't want to miss.
The thing is the restructure of it was not my doing. It was not intentional. But Zuckerberg had a meltdown. I've said this a few times, and I do hope he doesn't watch my lives because
I wish he did, because that would be funny. But at the same time,
we've exchanged email once or twice, but I don't think he's actually keeping, and it probably wasn't him. Let's be honest. Anyway, we're going off piece, but he just had a meltdown, and I think I've said this in Pro Members. There were changes that occurred over on Facebook and Instagram that were accelerated based on the COVID situation. There are things that were kind of in the wings, pipeline dreams. He was meant to focus on his alternative reality, his virtual reality stuff. He was meant to focus on his own cryptocurrency, Libra. Okay, these were things that were going to get pushed in 2020, and these are things that kind of took a back seat to.
Here's a Libra.
It's just a case whereby we decided it's one of those situations where we're going to give feature and functionality to people who are online more than ever before. And it probably was the right choice. However, I do think for us as business owners, we looked at these features and went, okay, so we've got Rooms, which is like Zoom. And okay, we've got Reels, which is like TikTok. And okay, we've got now units being changed into guides, and guides that are like Pinterest being added onto Instagram. We look at all that stuff, right? And we're like, wow, that's a lot. Could you imagine what that's like to the normal consumer?
There's so much stuff. And like, my mum has become obsessed with Reels. Like, she's forever sending me Reels. Like, forever. Always, I mean, she's got a great like sense of humor, but she's become obsessed. But I was like, she just switched. And I was like, when did you discover Reels? And she was like, it came up in front of my face so many times. I was like, I just had to look. And I think that so many changes within such a short space of time. And the thing is that, let's be honest, not all of those changes work properly still now.
It's glitchy.
Not all of the time. Like, it can be glitchy too. So trying to show up, we're trying to use new features. We're trying to connect with people the best way we know how. We're trying to be out within integrity and be authentic. And a new thing that doesn't always work. Like, that's a lot.
It's a lot. And without each other, how would you even navigate that?
Like, without you, I probably wouldn't have. I'd have been like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to throw the actual phone because I need the phone. I'd just been like, I'm out. Yeah. I'm out. Like, it's just so much. Yeah. And, like, without any real proper guidance on how to implement them, like, what you do. Like, you actually work out what the hell to do with this stuff and how to integrate it into what you're already doing to make your life easier.
Yeah.
Then, like, we can go and pick and choose the bits that work for us.
Cherry pick, my darling.
Once we have all the information, you can decide. But until you've got the information, like,
how would you know?
Well, exactly. Yeah. So for me, I'd just be out, especially this time last year, because I was just so overwhelmed. Like, I had so much SHIT going on.
Yeah.
It was just like, no. Yeah, it's just too much. I just didn't have spoons. I just don't have the spoons. Like, do you know the
spoons? I love that saying. Love
it. You know the spoon analogy? Do you know where it comes from?
Yes, but explain it for our viewers, darling.
Okay, so the idea of spoons is, I'll do it with pens because I actually have a ton of pens to hand. But basically, like, so for example, you start your day with 3, 6, 7, 8 pens or 8 spoons. And then, for example, it takes a normal person 1 spoon to have a shower, get ready for work, get in the car and get to work. But for a person with anxiety or depression, it takes them 4 spoons to do that same amount of stuff. So you've got 3 left, but they've lost 4. They've got 4 left for the day. So this is like me because I have anxiety. So then I've got to handle the fact I can't park. For me, that's going to cost me 2 spoons. Like, and then I've got 2 spoons left for the rest of the functioning for the rest of the day. Yeah. Like, and then, like, I can't have coffee. I've lost a spoon because that's the way I work. If I can't have coffee, it might be like a first world problem, but it's true for me. Like, if I can't have a brew, I don't function very well, you know. So, like, I've got 1 spoon. So let's say it's 12:30, and I've got 1 spoon to get me through the rest of the day. But the rest of the day includes working and driving home and making your dinner, and I'm in negative spoons by 1 o'clock. Like, so the spoon analogy is really important because then a normal person, like, they've got their 8 spoons, and 8 spoons gets them through to bedtime, they're fine. Because how much is taken up by one activity is different. You know, like, it drains you. Like, you just drained. Yeah. So, like, I love
imagine having client work, social media, and everything else on top of general.
Of having no spoons. Like, and last year I had no spoons, and I was in constant pain 100% of the time, and I wasn't sleeping, and my relationship had gone to hell, and my life was in tatters. There was absolutely no way, without something like Audience Attraction, I was going to continue to bother with social. This wasn't going to happen.
I think that was a mic drop moment. That might be the best testimonial the course has ever had. I don't know how to follow that up. It's like everything was on fire. It's that analogy, isn't it? Yeah. Everything was on fire.
Everything was on fire, but like it was just one of those. It just was another thing that I wouldn't have been able to handle.
Yeah.
The audience attraction gave me the tools to be able to handle it. And whilst I'm still not best friends with social, and I admit I am not consistent, which is my problem, not an audience attraction thing. That's a me thing. Nobody, like, you brought me to the water, you can't force me to drink it. Like, consistency is drinking the water, you know. But like, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, like, even though it's not my best friend, I know how to handle it. Yeah. It's like that family member that at Christmas that you just really don't want to have to.
Uncle Nobed.
Yeah, like the one who like hugged you too close, you know.
Oh dear.
It's kind of like that, you know. But I've got the tools to handle it now. Yeah. So like it doesn't drain my spoons, like. And so when I am doing it, and when I'm being consistent, it doesn't drain me to the point where I can't function.
No, and more importantly, you understand it, you know how it works, and you can make an educated decision over where you spend your energy, and where you spend your energy isn't making any like it's not creating a detriment in your business or your business plan.
Or like, being a person. Like there are certain areas of social that drain my soul, that just like suck the life out of me. So I choose where to put my time and my attention, and I choose not to put my time and attention into something that sucks me dry.
Yeah.
But
how are you feeling now? How are you feeling 12 months on?
Oh God, mate! What, in like physically or?
Well, all of it, babe. How does it feel 12 months on? Because since we did audience attraction last time, one of the questions I've been asking on this series is, where do you think you would have been if you hadn't have taken the leap and done it at that time? And that is a very difficult but great question.
I mean, for me, I wouldn't have a business anymore. I'd have given up. I'd have gone on to universal credit because I was sick. So there was no reason for me not to have gone on universal credit, and I probably still would be there right now. Like I wouldn't have my car. I wouldn't have all of you. Like I wouldn't have the pro members. Like I'd have given up my business for good and just gone back to drawing and painting to keep me sane and to stop me from my depression from taking over.
So that makes me really sad to think of that, because before Christmas, you launched a course which was called Sanity Saver that was a roaring success and was actually, I mean, you explain it because I'm taking away the opportunity for you to explain it here, but it basically, it meant more, it wasn't just about being creative, it was more about helping people through struggles, wasn't it?
Yeah, so the idea of the creativity allowing you to get out of your own head and into a mindful place, which in order to do that, you have to be present. But to know how to be present is really hard, especially with what's going on right now. So, and the way I'm present is I paint. So I was like, right, so I can give the gift of presence through guided tutorials on how to paint stuff. So I taught people how to paint for 6 weeks, you know, various things like how to approach watercolor, how to use watercolor at all, and then how to apply it to things. And what they actually got was twice a week, an hour and a half, twice a week. They got pure mindfulness. We didn't talk about COVID. We didn't talk about death rates. We didn't talk about lockdowns. Like, if anything, it was kind of banned. Like, Christmas was banned as a topic because Christmas can be anyway so stressful and upsetting.
So stressful.
But then add COVID into it. Like, and my mum was started to talk about Christmas in September last year. Oh. And I was like, I'm telling you, we should just effing cancel Christmas. Like, and I mean, I've been saying that for years, but that was more to do with my bad relationship than, you know, Christmas. But yeah, like it just gave them and me a dedicated time twice a week to be completely mindful and to take themselves to almost like step out of the world and step out of yourself into something else, and not know that that's exactly what you're being guided to do. But that's what, like, I've taken your hand and we've stepped into Wonderland, which is watercolor land, and we're off doing this with shiny, sparkly things.
Yeah.
And the rest of the shit doesn't exist.
Yeah, and you can just cope.
You can just be, you know. And in those moments, we all had a really good time. Yeah. Even if like we weren't having a really good time, we were okay.
Yeah.
And to be okay at all, really, in the past 12 months, has been really hard to do. Like, to be okay and maintain it for any length of time, super hard to do. Yeah. But twice a week, every single week for 6 weeks, they got to be okay. And I helped them do that.
Yeah.
If I'd given up, then they wouldn't have had that.
They wouldn't have had that, and you wouldn't have had that, and the world would be worse for it. And I think that is one of the things that, I mean, lots of people get to this point in their business, right? They get to this point where they have an idea, they have a dream, they know what they want to do, they know what they want to give, and they may have even got to the point where they know who their clients are, they know how they help, how their positive impact will actually make the world a better place in their corner of the world. And then they get to this bit, and this bit is hard.
Yeah.
Finding clients is hard. Finding people who are like-minded is hard. It's like finding a needle in a haystack sometimes. And it's the situation where when you're in that, you can think to yourself, well, what is the point?
Yeah.
What is the point if it's this hard?
All the time.
Yeah. And they get to a point where it's like, okay, so maybe I'll just go and take that stable 9-to-5 job somewhere else that
where I won't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, but then it's a different kind of hard, right?
Oh yeah, it's a different kind of hard. Like, can you imagine me trying to, like, can you imagine a boss trying to handle me? Like, can you imagine that? I mean, you in a way with the agency, you sort of are in some ways, but like even then, you're not
that way. I don't see myself that way. We don't run it that way, do we?
No, we don't. But that's the thing. We don't run it like that. But even then, like, if I was to be your staff, like, I think that'd be really hard on both of us, because I'm so used to running my own life.
Yes. Yeah, and like
you don't want to run my life for me either.
No. You know? It's not my jam, babe.
And tell people what to do. I don't want to be told what to do.
Exactly. This is where corporate didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, I don't like giving other people control over my existence. So I don't like somebody else saying, no, Dawn hasn't got that skill. We don't want her there. I can't stand that, because Dawn has got that skill, and there are underlying reasons why you don't want Eldonio.
And also, if I don't have the skill, then that's fine, but I can go learn that skill. Like,
which is what I did. That is exactly what I did. But then I went and I applied the skills that I don't have to a 6-figure successful business that belongs to moi.
Yeah.
You know, and I was introduced to the idea of autonomy around 2000 and I want to say 2015. I could be wrong there, but I was introduced to the idea of autonomy by somebody who was part of a place where I used to work, and I really understood it. I really dug it, and I thought this is actually something that really gives, not to sound revolutionary, but like gives the power back to the people. And I love the idea of it, and it never came to fruition in that particular arena, but it's definitely been something that I've always carried with me since. And I'm so grateful for the introduction of that idea, that seed in my brain, because I do think that without that, not only would I have not really kind of figured out ever that I had the opportunity to have autonomy over my own existence, but I'm not sure that I would have felt so passionately about giving women the tools for their autonomy. And then what happens is, and you know this, you have the tools for your autonomy. I support you, and then you go and support those people that were on your course, and then they support somebody else. And before you know it, we're making massive changes to people's whole lives, how they feel, how they, how they enjoy their passions, how they spend their time, what balances they have over being able to work and do the things that they love. And that to me is massive. And now I'm doing that thing again where I'm going really deep. Yes, this is a course.
Nothing wrong with deep. Like, we go deep though, let's be honest. Like, we go deep. And
we do go deep.
Nothing wrong with deep. And the thing is that you choose your level of deep. You choose how far in you want to wade, and that's completely up to you. The choice is yours. Like, and that's the thing about autonomy. It's true freedom. It's choice. So if you want to go deep, come deep. Like, we're in, like, we've waded in. We're in a hot tub. Like the champagne, and like we're in and we're deep and we're going for it. But at the same time, if you just want to sit and paddle your feet, that's cool too.
Cool. Yeah.
You don't have to go deep, and nobody's gonna force you.
No.
But, like, there are a lot of benefits to going that bit further.
Yeah.
Like, and if I hadn't gone further with you, I wouldn't be sat on camera with you now, talking, like, just chatting, like it was nothing.
Yeah.
This for me last year was like, can I not just sit with my camera off? And I used to sit with my camera off a lot. Like, and now I'm just like, yeah, I'm here. I'm in my pajamas. No, I've not washed my hair for 2 days, and here I am. Like,
because you were welcomed and loved and accepted as you are.
Yeah, exactly as I was, which a lot of the time at the beginning of Audience Attraction was exhausted and tearful and in a lot of pain and kind of foggy because I was only just being medicated with this really, but accepted and loved and respected and wanted regardless.
Yes.
And
yes.
Hell yes.
Hell yeah.
But because of that, like, it's changed me. I'm different. Like, there's no way you could have dragged me on camera a year ago. Like, this would not have happened a year ago.
Yeah. Like,
you couldn't have paid me to do it. Like, you might have paid me to do it, but then I might have cried off 5 minutes before because I just couldn't have done it.
And now, it's not just a case of just being here, but you show up for your clients. You've just started a membership, and I expect that Sanity Saver will run, and I know that you also have some other really exciting things to share.
So many things,
and we a lot of people won't know, but we're actually hosting a pro member retreat that you are a part of in September.
Come paint with me.
I'm really, really excited for that. I'm really excited for the retreat. Point blank, it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be amazing. But actually, I just can't wait, especially because I have this, like, everybody who was in the challenge last week knows that I had this massive aha moment about this program I'm going to build. Yeah. And I am going to, like, it's going to be ready for then. It's going to be ready before then, but, like, you guys are going to get the whole lot face to face. Like, you're going to get the whole lot.
Yeah.
Which, like, is probably not going to be able to happen in 2021. 2021 is probably not going to be able to happen that way for anybody else but us.
Yeah. It's going to be a really special.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so special. And then I'm going to get to deliver this thing where now I finally found my thing. Like, I'm going to get to give it to these people that, like, made me feel so okay to be myself.
I mean, that makes me so happy. And what I really loved about all of this is that the changes in you are magnificent, and there are changes in your business that are massive. So, like, for instance, there's been a lot more showcasing of your art because you do actually sell your art, and that was something that had we have gone back 12 months ago and 2 weeks, how many people would have known that you have all of this art for sale? And now people know that you sell your art. You have art hanging in people's homes all over the UK. You've won an award. You've launched your course. You've launched a membership. You've come so far, and not just that. The staples
in Australia now as well, which means national. So like my art is in Australia now. That makes me international and multi-award winning. Like,
you are international and multi-award winning, and the massive changes in you in just 1 year. It's incredible.
My hair wouldn't have been pink either.
Your hair would not have been pink.
It's a silly thing, but it's an important thing to me. Like, I'm not afraid to express myself anymore, including like dyeing my own, like bleaching my own hair and dyeing it pink because I wanted it pink. Like, I wanted it pink for years, but last year I wouldn't have done it. This year I did it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so much growth.
I'm just already packed.
Yeah. Our MC Bobs are doing brand shoots for the people that are joining us on the retreat, and there are spaces on the retreat as well. So I mean, we've got
come with us, come and join.
There's spaces to come with us, but I won't be talking about that until Audience Attraction closes.
Another time.
But yeah, it's what I really love, and what I love to ask you guys, and I asked Emma and I asked Helen. What I really, really like to ask is, what is it about Audience Attraction that was your favourite?
Oh.
I know, it's tough, right?
Yeah, super tough. Like overall, the overarching clarity I got. Like, okay, so I know how this works now. I know what to click. I know what to put where. I know what to ignore if I want to ignore it. Yeah. I know, okay, so I'm clear on all this. It's not so goddamn scary.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm clear on it. And I actually really love this thing. So I'm going to do this thing. And I'm clear on this. And I'm not into it. So I'm just not going to do that. Like, gaining clarity and knowing that so it's not just a gut feeling like, I don't like this thing. Well, now I know how to work the thing. So we've gotten rid of that part of the not like. So if you don't like it because you don't know how to work it, you've got rid of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I still don't like it. Okay, I just don't like it.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas like, I didn't like it. Actually, now I can work it and it's not scary anymore. Yeah, actually, I do kind of like it. Okay, I'll do this. And then you build that into your business and you like what you're doing. Like, the whole point of doing this is that we like what we do. We enjoy our days. Yeah. And if what you're doing with your social is sucking the life out of you, you've not hit it. Like, it's not right.
Yeah. What I really love, and you'll love this as well, Laura, is that obviously Emma's watching, and she always says that she hates social media. And she sits and she every single month she takes some time and she plans out her month. And she mentioned earlier that she's done her month, and lets it just run in the background because it's not her joy. So she does it. She follows a strategy and she puts it out. And I know that she won't mind me saying that every time she gets a new client or discovery call, she messages me and she's like, oh my God, somebody's just messaged me. I've just got this discovery call, or I've just got this client. And that is what I love about what you're saying. Like, you don't have to love it, but if you know how to use it, you can do what you need to do. And that might mean ditching it entirely. You know, there are certain areas that won't always work for you. Yeah, this is the opportunity to build that bespoke strategy that works for you. You can ditch the bits that aren't working for you, but then the bits that you know how to do, and you can set it, you can let it run, and you can go back to being the genius in your business without letting this be the
Yeah, like, it's supposed to be. Like, it's not supposed to all be hard all the time. Like, and we don't, just because social is so many different things doesn't mean we have to do them all. Like, and it doesn't have to be like, I have to be there because X person's there. No, you really don't.
No.
Like, more people are going to find you no matter where you are. You just, like you say, you have the responsibility to make yourself findable.
Yes.
Once you've done that part, and you continue to do that part, and you're consistent about that part, which is the thing that I keep falling down on, which I can admit, like, it's true. I need to be more, but I know it. I need to be more of an MZ. Like, I need to sit my butt in a chair for like a day or 2 days or 3 days or whatever it takes, and I need to batch that out. But when I batch it, like, my engagement goes through the roof. I get new clients, I get new followers, like, I'm forever, and then I'm on my social because I'm responding to people doing that bit I quite like.
Yes.
Which a year ago, I wouldn't have even said I like people. Like, because I was just so very lost in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
This year has been a massive change for me, not just like audience attraction, but just like everything.
In general.
Yeah. And last year I used to say I hated people.
Yeah.
And I don't hate people, I love people. There are just some people that I choose not to engage with anymore. And that's the difference.
And this is the thing, right? So a lot of the time people think when I'm talking about creating audience, I'm talking about general public. Yeah. That I'm talking about vanity metrics, that I'm talking about numbers. I am not. I'm talking low volume, high quality, contacts, cultivate audiences. Yes. Of your
real people with real names and real bank accounts. You know what I mean, though?
I mean, that's a valid point, absolutely, because, I mean, we all have these passions and we all want to work in our areas of business because we enjoy it and we know that we can help, and it gives us this internal fulfillment. But at the end of the day, we do need to get paid. It's not something that we can just, we're not able to run on pro bono. However, what I will say, and what I really loved about the switch in my situation in the last couple of years, is that when you get to the stage where you are always met with a queue of eager clients who want to buy from you, that want to work from you, you don't have that pressure or worry, and you can actually do more pro bono. You can help and reach more people without having to be paid every single time. You know yourself, the agency picks a charity every single year and we do some branding or some social or whatever they need for them. And we would never have been able to afford to do that because somebody at the end of that still needs their wages paid. They still need to do their food shop and feed their kids and keep the roof over their head or whatever, keep the car on the road or whatever. But we can now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it works.
And the thing is, as well, for me, it's like I absolutely have to pay my bills, but for me, it's not about the money. So, I want to be in a place, like my way of being in the world is I want to be in a place where I pay my bills and then I go help people that can't afford me in the best way I possibly can, without detriment to me, but to help them. Like, and I want to be in a place where I can say, okay, so I work 4 days a week and I get paid 4 days a week, and on a Friday I go and I help people, like, and I help them for free. Yeah. Like, and that is part of who I am. Like, there are some people who don't want to operate that way. That's fine. But for me, I just want to cover my bills so that I know they're paid, so I'm not stressed. And then I want to go help people. Like, and I can help people and be paid to do it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then there are some people who just can't pay me, and that's fine too. But there are ways I can help them as well, and that's why.
Our Jackie, by the way, Facebook user is our Jackie.
Oh, Jackie, thank you.
So, I mean, what I really love about all of this is that, I mean, I know we've talked a lot about audience attraction, but in truth, there's been so much that's happened over the last 12 months and so much growth. And I think one of the things that we can attribute that back to is just being educated in business and marketing and reaching out and connection, and those areas that they kind of support. There's been a lot of personal growth, a lot of emotional growth, and a lot of stuff that we've been through together to get to these points, to be able to celebrate these successes. But we've had a lot of practical skills support that.
And I'm not afraid to ask either. Like, I have a heck of a lot of like basic business skill that I had before I came to you. Like, I have that. But what I'm not afraid to do anymore is find the person I need to ask about the thing I know there's a gap with. And if there's a gap, I'm going to go fill it like you. Like if you've got a gap and you don't have a skill, you're going to go learn it. Like, it's the same with me. And that's why I have a huge studio full of stuff, because it's the same for my art too. Like if I don't know how to paint with oil, I'm going to go buy oil and I'm going to find a course. I'm going to learn to paint with oil, which is what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Like, and it's how I started. Like, I don't know how to doodle. So I bought a pack of pens, and then the next thing you know, I've got a studio and it's a business. I mean, there's like 10 years in between, but
No, but I mean, that's exactly how the evolution of our businesses kind of work, though, because if you'd have come to me at the beginning of my journey and said, Dawn, what are you doing? I would have said that I was offering white label social media management for people. And then that led into, obviously, in the end of all of going and finding the things that I didn't know, I picked interests that I loved. So I was already doing graphic design as a hobby, but then I went and got the qualification. I went and got that learning. And then you put that learning with this learning. And then it was a monumentous moment for me when I decided to then delve deeper into psychological selling. I've always been a salesperson, and people don't think I'm a salesperson because I don't embody that pushy, horrible car salesman.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not him, and I never have been him. But I am a salesperson. I when something is good, I can sell it, and I can let you know about it. But when I went and trained on psychological selling, that then gave another angle. And then you take in the theory of aesthetics in regards to graphic design, cutting through the mustard in terms of noise on social media and on the internet, and actually being able to cut through all the crap to go direct. And this is why I love that saying that my pretties don't cha-cha, they do an Argentinian tango direct to ideal clients. Straight there.
Not like this, we're like this.
We're not 2 steps forward, 2 steps back like a lot of people. Yeah. And it is the mix of those trainings, those learnings, the evolution of me wanting to know more and not being scared to learn, and I don't waver. When it's time to invest in myself, I do it.
Yeah.
Regardless, I just do it.
Yeah.
And that's been a really fantastic measure of success for me, because all of those different things have come in. Now, the one thing I will say as a bit of a caveat is that a lot of people that I have come across recently, and I'm obviously not going to name any names, but a lot of people that I've come across recently have been burned by coaches.
Yeah.
And have spent money on courses and people who did not have their best interests at heart. Now, I am very lucky to say that I have never invested in a coach that didn't help me or bring me something, which I'm very lucky. I know I'm very lucky. I don't know how I managed that, but I've just been lucky. But I know for some people, they have invested in other people previously, and sometimes spent a lot of money and not got what they came for, not had the right support, not had somebody leading that would actually truly care about them as a person and their results. And that is sometimes difficult, because I automatically assume that people will just know that they can trust me.
Yeah, well, because you are trustworthy. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I knew you were trustworthy from the minute go, and I'm not a trusting person at all. I'm a Scorpio. Like, we don't do that. We don't trust people. No. But like with you, I knew you were trustworthy. I didn't need to worry about getting burnt with you. I just needed to worry about really whether I was well enough to do it.
Yeah.
Like, my concerns weren't about you. My concerns were about me.
Yeah.
Like, can I show up at 8 o'clock when I'm medicated? Can I take notes that make sense? And the answer sometimes was no on that. But like, that's the joy of replay. But my concerns on anything to do were never to do with you. Like, my only concerns, and those concerns didn't stop me from like jumping in anyway, because like, joy of forever access, like, that's what replay is for.
Yeah, I mean, I was just about to ask you, even with all of that struggle that you were going through at the time, you completed the course. And even if you weren't like all the way there on a live, there were a couple of times when you were there and you would watch, and then you would say to me, I'm going to go rewatch that another time. You still completed it. You still understood it. You got through it, and you enjoyed it. Now that for me was massive, because of course, when we always have people in our circle who are struggling with different things, because it's life, man. I can't pick a time in the annum where somebody isn't going to have something, or we have our lovely ladies, and we wrap ourselves around them, but we do have them that have chronic, all the time, whenever it feels like flaring up, illnesses, right? So I mean, we can't, like you, and you can't let things stop, but at the same time, I want to be, and I've always been very conscious that the structure of the course, the structure of the learning, allows for people to step back when they need to and go deeper when they can, so that you can give the energy that you have available to it, but you're never going to burn yourself out by doing it. It should help make things easy, not the opposite.
Not the opposite way around. And the thing is that I knew I could turn up to a session with my camera off and be like, I'm here, I don't feel great, but I'm here.
Yeah.
And or I could show up like 100% me, like completely wired from caffeine, and just like, I feel great today, and fully participate, and both ways were fine, and both ways remain fine. Sometimes I can show up in pro members 100%, and sometimes I can't show up 100%, but neither of those are a problem.
No, never.
That is life, and the fact is that I am dealing with a chronic illness, and therefore some days I just can't.
Yeah.
Or when it comes to audience attraction, any of your courses, you can, it's not even missing a session. It's just like you watch it later.
Yeah.
And you don't really feel like you're watching it later either, because of the way that you conduct it. It feels like you're watching it in real time. Like you want to comment, and then you're like, oh, sugar, I can't.
And that's when you have to go to the group then, and say, I just watched it. This is my thoughts. Yeah.
Write myself a list of things that I want to say, and come back later.
Yeah, I love that, and I mean that is the reason ultimately why lifetime access and rewatch works.
I kind of get pissed off these days if coaches, if anybody doesn't offer lifetime access.
It should kind of be like a standard, right?
Well, I mean, I understood it at first. There are a lot of artists who still don't offer lifetime access.
Oh, okay.
And there's some artists that are rerunning the same programs year after year after year, and taking the same people on, and not even offering alumni discount.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you get access for a certain amount of time, and then it goes. So and some, and these
people, you have time to implement it.
And these people did that through COVID too.
Oh.
So you signed up and you knew you had a certain amount of access, but then a global pandemic hits, your entire life implodes, whatever. And then your 6 months has passed, or your 8 months, or your 3 months, or your 2 months in some cases.
Yeah.
And you've no access. And then you get in touch and say, look, I wasn't well, or, whatever. Surely there must be a way for me to at least download these videos. No, we don't do that. And I find that, well, for me, it's just unconscionable.
Yeah.
If people have invested the money, there is no reason why they shouldn't have lifetime access.
Yeah.
And if I can't have lifetime access anymore, I don't spend the money.
Yeah. So for me, I know that there are people who, of course, I've got to kind of just say, we did once run this as a day training together in person. That one didn't have a recording.
I think that's different. That was
the only one. Yeah, and we still have people, and I'm going to interview Laura, who was on an old version of Audience Attraction. She's like alumni, and even that group of people, we can tell on the website when they log in, and they still go and rewatch the modules now. They still go and download things now. And I'm watching them fly. I'm watching them get to launch, like third and fourth launch time. I'm watching the social medias going out consistently within their messaging. And it has to be said that since that ran, their messaging, their businesses and themselves have changed and evolved. However, this course is still the pillar. It's still the markstone where they can go back and apply it time and time again to those pivots, to those evolutions.
And they're still coming back, and they're still watching the material from X amount of time ago, still flying it and still flying. Like,
still flying. Fly, my pretties. Yeah. They're just flying, and this is the thing that I love about it, is that it isn't a case where this course is not a case. Sorry, I've just banged the microphone. This course is not a case where you'll come, you'll learn, you'll go, and you'll know it. You'll come, you'll learn, you'll know it, and then when things change, you'll come back, and you'll tweak, and you'll get things right again. And it's an investment that will serve you.
It is. Because it's one of those things, like, you're always going to have to come back and tweak, because Zuck is always going to tweak Facebook. Like, he doesn't like to leave things the same. Like, they're going to keep tweaking Instagram. Like, the way that TikTok works right now, they're going to change it. Like, it will get changed. If it doesn't get changed now, someone will buy TikTok and then they'll change it. Like, so we have to understand that it's like a continuing commitment to like be willing to understand the thing to get the best out of it.
Yeah.
Like, to get the best out of a person, you have to understand their motivations. To get the best out of a social media platform, you have to work out how it works.
Yes.
Like,
and it's changing all the time, because like this year we will have to address Clubhouse.
Yeah.
We're going to address Clubhouse.
I'm sure we're going to address Clubhouse, but some of us don't have iPhones, and I refuse. I refuse. Like, I'm sorry. I am not going back to an iPhone just for a platform where people talk incessantly. Like, that's what it is, effectively. Like, it's a chat, and I get it, and I like the idea. If I can't get it on Android, I'm not interested.
You're not going to have to worry for much longer. It's a situation where I can't give any actual information, but what I will say is that if Snapchat can be ripped of stories, and Pinterest can be ripped of guides, and TikTok can be ripped of reels, then Clubhouse has its days marked.
Yeah, of course it does.
But
everything's got it. Everything's up. Like, you just, like, if you think about it, it's like Zorro. You're like, shoo, shoo, shoo. I love that. Like, he's gonna know, but it's what he is.
But it does serve a purpose, like the audio, and it's not. It's not actually social media, not technically, but we will address it like we do with all of the platforms, all of the players. That's module 2, and we will address it. We'll go through it. We'll explain the motivations. We'll explain what they do, how they can serve your business, the features and the benefits of all the different things. And yeah, it's all relative. Not to do. I'm doing a lot of friends references at the moment, but it's all relative.
Yeah, it is. And there's always going to be a new version or a better version or a new thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's always new platforms launching that are trying to be the new whatever.
Yeah.
So we are going to have to constantly update, because our clients are going to move and like do. Like, I know people who are closing their Facebook accounts, who've had them like since Facebook started, and who just don't anymore. Like, they're just like, yeah, I don't need it anymore. I don't want it anymore. Like, so if your client like leaves Facebook, you need to be where your client is.
Yeah.
So you need to have an understanding. But I mean, it's also a choice. Like, most of my clients aren't Facebook anyway, which is fine. But like, if all my clients left where my clients are and went to Facebook, I would probably have to hire a social media manager. And then,
you should know what you were hiring, right?
Yeah, exactly. Then I'd know what I was hiring. I know what I want. I know what I need, and I know how it needs to look and how it needs to sound. It needs to be like me. Like, so those things I got from audience attraction and content creation.
Yeah.
Which is like why it's so important.
We had a massive influx, although obviously, you know people who have removed the Facebook. We had a massive influx this time last year of people joining Facebook because of COVID. And what we had was the higher age bracket that have previously not bothered.
Yeah, like one of my favorite clients is 83, and he is one of the sweetest, most lovely men in the world. But he didn't have Facebook until last year.
Yeah.
Like, and now he just don't stop. Like he posts his little, like, he does reviews of what he's been watching, and like little commentary.
Oh, I love that.
It's brilliant. He's forever telling me about like the latest ballet he's watched and all these kind of things. But he's on Facebook where he wasn't before because of COVID. Yeah. So like you've got this influx of people, of different people, and he found me on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, but Facebook isn't my place, but he's definitely my ideal client. So like I can't say that Facebook isn't a place where I can find ideal clients. Yeah. It's just not best suited to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I can't have people that come to me through Facebook. It just means that, which is why I keep up a presence. I just don't focus my time and my energy there.
And this is the thing, you see, like people don't realize sometimes it's good to just be represented.
Yeah, just have yourself there.
Yeah.
Just have it there, and you can leave it. And you, like I say, because I schedule everything on later. So every time I schedule an Instagram post, it is just ticked to go to Facebook. Yeah. And it's done. And I just check when I get comments and stuff, but otherwise I leave it alone. Because that's just not where my influx really comes from. But I still have my presence, and if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have Derek,
Yeah.
And he calls me Petal.
Oh, I love that.
I do too.
Oh, bless. That's so nice. It's so nice. All right then, my darling. Well, we've hit time. So I'm going to let you go. When we do these sessions, it can be an hour or it can be less than an hour, and check us out. We've carried on waffling on.
I know, but this is you and me, and we both know that this is what we do whenever we get talking.
Yeah. And I think we've covered a lot of ground today, which is wonderful.
Yeah, we have. We've covered amazing ground.
Thank you so much
thank you for having me.
And it's good to have you.
Thank you for having me, I suppose. In terms of not just having me here now, but you know what I mean.
I do.
Just oh God, I swore we weren't going to do the crying thing today.
Don't get upset. It's okay.
I'm not upset. It just I would have quit. I would have quit, and I feel like the main reason I haven't is because I found you. And you're my coach, and I'm in pro members, and I do your courses, and really without those things, I would have quit. So yeah.
You have too much light that the world needs to quit.
Well, I know that now, but I didn't know that then, and I was in a dark, deep hole without any fairy lights. But now I got.
To be fair, sometimes it needs to be that dark for your light to shine.
Yeah, sometimes it does. It's just that I couldn't see, but it was just this instinctual thing that I had to do, and I'm so glad I did.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to trust your gut and go for it, right?
Yeah, because usually when I trust my gut, good things happen. It's when I don't that everything goes wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
my darling. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Emma says big hugs.
Hugs.
Big hugs. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong comment. Big hugs. Thank you, darling. Okay, we're going to go now. Big love, everyone.
Bye.
If you're loving our Pretty podcast, come on over to Social Pretties, our online safe house and sisterhood community. It's a safe space where female entrepreneurs connect and thrive in a warm, welcoming fold of pretty amazing women. You'll find an easy redirect in the description, and I can't wait to see you in there. And depending on where you're listening right now, we would love it if you would click subscribe or follow so that you can be the first to know when our new podcasts come out.